Hi, I'm Motie Bring. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer here at PPRO, and I'm happy to have James Fry, VP Global Expansion at Worldpay. Good to have you.
Yeah, good to be here, thank you.
Yeah, I'm quite keen to first understand a bit more about, Worldpay's strategy around global payment methods, different payment methods.
No, yeah, so I head up strategic expansion, so it's all about looking at how we continue to grow in different geographies, but not just in terms of kind of card acquiring, but looking at the payment methods and the way people want to pay in those countries. So whether it's enabling merchants on a cross-border basis or domestically, understanding kind of the way people like to pay, what's important in that market. So that could be a mixture of card payments, real-time payments, such as open banking, wallets, and a myriad of different payment methods across the space. So our strategy is really to understand where we actually operate. So we have capabilities in around 68 countries to offer domestic capabilities. And what we're looking at really is saying, what does a strong market proposition look like? So that's really about understanding the key payment trends, the key payment methods that are relevant in that market, that gives our merchants the ability to have a local presence and to obviously increase their target addressable market with offering the right payment methods to them.
Well, when you work with different merchants, obviously you work with international companies, how do you know which payment methods to offer them to simplify the process for them and for their consumers?
I think it really comes down to the vertical they're in. So every payment method's different. It could be a commercial reason, or it could be the authorization flow, it could be how it settles. So again, if you've got certain payment methods that might be very popular in a certain country, but for lower transaction values, maybe in different levels of affluence, it may not be relevant to an airline merchant, for example, that's got a high ATV. So it's understanding, although there might be huge prevalence of an alternative payment method or a digital payment method in that country, is really understanding whether it's actually suitable for a merchant. So what we do is understand across a number of different kind of, understand categorizations of those payment methods, and really kind of looking at whether it's relevant to an airline or to the gambling industry or to a retailer, based on the commercial price that's available, based on the authorization flow. Is it immediate? Is it delayed? Does the settlement process work? Is it a 5-day settlement window, or is it next day settlement? And then take that and kind of understand with the merchant kind of how they honor goods to their customers, the goods and services, and then build out actually a list of what we would say is relevant to them. So it's not just saying, hey, here's 10 payment methods available in a country, turn them on. Yeah. It's really about tailoring it based on the industry where they operate.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you're in 68 countries now?
Correct, yeah. So when we talk about that, it's about getting access to domestic processing. So we can operate in 44 countries through our own licenses. So this is processing Visa, MasterCard with a domestic license. And then through partners that we have, strategic partnerships across the globe, we've got capabilities in a further 24. And then we do cross-border payments, in pretty much every market where you can take payments. And then we've got a large alternative payment method book, so a mixture of whether it's wallets, real-time payments, to kind of your more post-pay kind of offline methods as well, that we have across the globe as well.
And I think you said you have strategic partnerships that you work with to elaborate your payment offering. How do you choose which one to work with? How do you build those partnerships?
So it comes down to what our immediate requirements are. So sometimes it might be finding a partner that can help us in a particular market. So if we're going into a market and there's someone who can give us access to a number of different payment methods, and maybe also where we might not have a local entity, so they can support us and our merchants. But typically what we look for is someone who can give us the widest coverage. Having to integrate and contract with lots of individual payment methods is expensive and it takes a long time. So finding strategic partners that can give you multiple countries, multiple payment methods and via a single integration and a single contract means that we simplify the work on our side, and it means that we can be much more scalable, go to market quicker. So it's really about, the benefits they bring, and it's about making sure that we have someone who can give us, lots of different options as opposed to kind of singular connection.
And you're in 68 countries now. What next? Which more countries do you want to go into?
Yeah, I mean, it's very much led by obviously where our customers want to go, but also how we continue not only from an e-commerce standpoint, but also growing our card-present capabilities in those markets as well. So we've still got around 4 markets actively being progressed at the moment that we're going to be launching over the next kind of 12 months. And we're always looking at kind of what's next. I think a big thing we're wanting to do actually is not just focus about new markets, is that, hey, should we go and open a new entity or find a new partner in a new country? It's about increasing our capabilities where we operate today. So there's always new payment methods or local schemes that allow us to grow our kind of presence in that space, to have a greater target addressable market, to give optionality to our customers. So it's very much about continuing to invest in what we have, as well as also looking at kind of, I guess, forward gazing and looking at new markets that could have potential.
One last question. We talked about payment methods, local payment methods, your strategy, what Worldpay wants to do in markets you're in now and where you're going, about strategic partnerships, where PPRO and Worldpay, and I know we have a very unique partnership, a strategic one. Why do you work with PPRO, and how does that fit into your strategy?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked with PPRO for a number of years, mainly because, as I said, with PPRO, it's a strategic partnership. We have a relationship with you, and with that integration, we can access payment methods in a huge number of countries. So as we start to look at enhancing where we operate today or new markets, typically we would go to a partner like PPRO and say, what have you got available in that country? Because it's far easier to be able to then add additional payment methods and try and find new partners in country. And also it's the solution, right? It's a full end-to-end, so it's not just a technical connection and then we have to do downstream contracting and settlement processes. PPRO manage the end-to-end, so that's the settlement, the reporting, the reconciliation, any kind of dispute processes. These are all managed, so it's being able to go and have a one-stop shop, and that's the reason why we've chosen to work with you guys for so long.
It's a good enough reason for me.